Have you ever thought that entrepreneurs have to work way too much in order to get done what they want to get done? Well, today we're going to break down how often I work, and I actually work 7 days a week. But there's a few catches in this morning's episode that I think you'll really like about how we break down our work schedules and how we get more done faster. You become better for not only you, but the people you love and care about most. You gotta be a little uncomfortable and take that leap of faith. You're in control of the process. I'm here with you. If we don't continue to grow, if we don't continue to move on, we will be sad and upset. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Terry Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. This is episode 323. My God, 323. And what we're talking about today is how often do I work? How often? I can only speak from personal experience. I have the privilege of coaching and working with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've seen a lot of differing schedules. Some night owls, some morning people working 80 hours a week, some people working 3 hours a day and making way more money than I ever have. So it's weird to see the balance between it. So how many hours is kind of the question that we're trying to answer today. Is there a right answer? Usually no. There's never a perfect answer because some people are geniuses and work 1,000,000 miles an hour. And some of us, including myself, it takes a long time to digest information. I feel like when I was in graduate school, I was definitely the kid who had to study a lot of extra hours because when I was little, I struggled with English and writing and stuff like that. And so it took me a long time to just be writing notes out and process it. And who knows? And that's not a shot at my intelligence versus maybe just being smart at better things. And everyone's different, right? More of the point. So how many hours does one person have to work? How many days a week? How many days a week are you working on your number one goal? How many days a week? How many days a week? Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 7? Whatever your number is, let's go ahead and break down some reasons why this is important to know and how we can learn as individuals to try and better ourselves. We're going to break down more so what works for me, and then you hopefully will be able to sit in your own position and think, oh, I like this about it. That makes more sense. How can I have some type of balance in between, right? It always seems like we come back to that dang word, balance. And it turns out it's pretty true and pretty handy dandy when it comes to working on the things that, what we want to do, why we want to do it. So let's get right into it. Reasons why I work 7 days a week. So I technically work 7 days a week. And let me explain a little bit. So I don't work 10 hours a day every single day. That would be a complete lie. I would never lie to you. I have no reason to lie to myself. I just don't work in that capacity. Versus I work a lot more effectively when I dominate my mornings. I get up, try to get up at 6 a.m. and do my morning routines. And then I get straight into social media stuff, idea generation, content stuff. And then I kind of pound stuff out here. And then I clean stuff up afterwards. So I got my morning routines and I try to get most of my coaching and my content writing done in the mornings because I'm a big believer in momentum. That's a big reason why we do this show at 8 a.m. in the morning. I've done this show at 5 a.m. I've done this show at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and now 8 a.m. And for me, when I can get a lot done in the mornings, I don't know about you and your situation, when I get a lot done in the mornings and I start my day on the right foot, it tends to lead me into just wanting to do more work anyway, because I feel the momentum. I feel the hardest part is always getting started, or at least that's what it feels like to me. Whenever I'm thinking about something hard, like exercising, I'm thinking about cooking meals, I'm thinking about working on my course, I'm working on my book, I'm working on like the big the big mover projects, whenever I get these big projects up and going in the morning time, I always feel amazing and I can kind of push through the rest of the day. And then I can take on more like putting out, because as entrepreneurs, you're pretty much just putting out fires and stuff like, oh, I have a problem with this. My rental properties give me some headaches. I'm not going to lie to you. My rental properties are not completely passive, and there's some things that we got to do. Sometimes they give me headaches and I got to fix that. Sometimes the coaching stuff gives me headaches and we got to fix that. And it seems like my afternoons are more about putting out fires than it is about the big project pushing for what it is that we're trying to do with the companies. So I do 7 days a week because I work in the morning times, and then I try to really cut myself off around like 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't work past that, hardly ever. And then sometimes I'll maybe come in here and I'll clean up the office, or I just bought a brand new monitor for my office here. And shout out to Acer. I like their brands and their products. So I got a new monitor in here. We'll have to show you guys sometime what I got, and why I got it, yada, yada. Anyway, so in the afternoons, unless it's something special or something that I'm eager to like jump on, or it's pretty much exclusively reading and writing in the evenings, some very basic stuff. So in the mornings, I like to dominate and then kind of use the momentum. But that's asking yourself what it is that you're trying to do and what are you trying to accomplish. I think knowing your goals is so important for this type of work. If you want to work 7 days a week and not work as much, I'd rather work 7 days a week on things that I really care about and I'm really interested in, and not work all day long because I like variety. So I'm working on coaching, I'm working on real estate. And then in the afternoons and evenings, I'm trying to spend time with my family. I'm trying to spend time with my girlfriend. I'm trying to spend time with my friends. I personally eat super healthy throughout most of the day. And then dinner, I get a little, I do a little extra, you know what I mean? So we cook and I eat a little more, and we really like cooking on our Blackstone griddle. Well, mainly my girlfriend cooks way more than I do on the Blackstone griddle, but we love to cook in the kitchen and kind of share mealtime, go for golf cart rides, go for walks, whatever. I really like to take the afternoons and evenings off personally, but that's what works for me. And because I like to take afternoons and evenings off, I need to, or I believe to, I get to, I don't have to do anything, right? Verbiage is important. And I get to just really focus and have a lot of fun on working on what it is I want to do big project wise, like the book, like the course, like the coaching and consulting, the real estate that we're doing here. I get to do all of that in the morning and really enjoy it with a nice, delicious cup of Joe, and then get right to it. And then off to anything in the afternoon and the evenings or bonus and gravy. If I'm really feeling pulled to it, like for example, the other day, I was really excited about one of the morning show episodes because these episodes relate to my life as much as hopefully they relate to yours. And I was pulled to it, I was doing the work. That's fine. I was really enjoying it. So how do you work 7 days a week? So if you're going to take this idea that I'd rather work more days for less hours, how could we possibly do this? I think tip number one, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through a couple tips that I think are vital for anybody to do this for a long period of time. I believe anyone can do anything, maybe not go to the NFL or play in the NBA because physical restraints and this and that. But you could work on an NFL team, work on an NBA team. You get what I'm saying? I think most people would do anything that they really put their minds to if they just did it consistently enough for long enough time. So if you want to sell a lot of houses and you want to be a real estate agent, that's what a lot of my clients do, is they sell houses, flip them, buy them. You could just do real estate for decades, and there's a good chance that you're going to do really well. If you wanted to be a coach, if you wanted to be a life coach, if you want to have courses and do stuff like I do, if you want to just study personal development all the time, that sounds really fun to you. I think it's a blast. Then you just keep reading the books, you keep writing the notes, you keep talking to people, you keep consulting, you keep freelancing. Kind of like yesterday, we were talking about the path of the entrepreneur. You just keep hitting it, and then you don't commit the ultimate sin, quitting. No quitting. You can pivot, you can do that, but you can't be quitting. You got to be honest with yourself and make sure you're working on something that matters to you and you're moving forward in the right direction. So I got to absolutely get back to the point. Absolutely love what I do. I love what I do. So when I really love what I do, there's this cliche that I don't totally agree with, but if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel like I'm working sometimes, getting up in the mornings, typing out the show notes, reaching out to video editors, talking to the graphic designers, following up with, I bounce a lot of my ideas off of my friends and my family. I think it's really helpful. Additionally, I have a business coach. I have a life coach. I'm communicating with like a lot of people a lot of the time, and not all of it's, some of it's work, but I definitely still love what I do. And it pulls me to want to do more. So if you don't absolutely love what you do, I probably wouldn't beat yourself up that you're not doing it 7 days a week. I couldn't imagine doing something that I don't like 7 days a week. That is a lot of days, right? Pretty much all of them in a week, I would say, if we're pretty close. So if you're going to do something and you want to do it right, I believe that you should do a little bit every single day. You don't have to work 10 hours a day, but even like 1 or 2 hours. One cycle of the Pomodoro, which is just 100 minutes of concentrated focus. One cycle of the Pomodoro, 100 minutes a day. If you just did that 7 days a week, I believe anything could be really possible for you. And if you don't love it, screw it. Go do something else. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't quit on yourself and not do things that you know deep in your heart that are. I believe most people are smart enough to know if something's good for them or bad for them, and think physically, mentally, spiritually. And if it's in alignment with who you are and what you want to do, hell yeah, let's go do it. But I think one of the secrets and the tricks of the trade to competing with people, competing with entrepreneurs who are working 7 days a week is you got to absolutely love what you do. And I absolutely love what I do. And I'm going to keep hitting personal development 7 days a week. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm reading freaking books. Like there's this book on the big book of 30-day challenges. Let's read it. Let's look through it. No egos involved. There's so much that I know so little about, and I can just go out and keep getting it, keep grabbing it because I absolutely love the industry. I got no I'm trying to set my ego aside. I can learn from anybody, and let's just keep pushing through because I absolutely love what I do. It's very helpful. I do not work more than 3 to 4 hours on the weekends. I'm pretty notorious for this. I do the mornings. So this last weekend on Sunday, okay, well, I did actually work quite a bit on this last Sunday. But Fridays and Saturdays, I'm usually a little more lenient, and I actually work a little more on Sundays. But this includes a lot more reading and a lot more writing and a lot more journaling. Like I'll just read books and I'll just write the notes in notebooks. And then I'll take the notes and then I'll rewrite them onto my computer to see what I can make for social media content. That's kind of my process. Like I'm reading this book on Barack Obama. I'm seeing this man was running before he was starting work in the mornings. And big fan. I'll just say how he prepared for his speeches, how his team, how many people are involved. Like that dude had so much support. I think most people at that level do. But it's just wild to me, the determination and the workings. This dude would work all day and then he'd write his books at night, and he absolutely crushed it. And he's one of my heroes. But on the weekends, I'm just kind of reading, writing, doing, like pulling back a little bit is probably a good point to take home this morning. Is on the weekends, don't beat yourself up that you're not working all day and all night versus just like, okay, what are some things that I could do that would push me a little forward? What are some things, one step, one thing I could read? What's a book that you've been thinking about that you want to pick up? Pick it up, read 10 pages, write some notes on it, and think about how you can share with somebody. We're in the digital age. You might as well you take one quote. I see people so we have some good morning. Thanks for tuning in to the show this morning. Not all of my videos get a ton of views, and they probably won't for years to come. But we're going to look back on this and be like, damn, son, he was doing that for a long, long time. And I think just building out that muscle, and say if you're shooting out quotes or you're writing about things you care about, if you're just making a quick little video or whatever it is that you want, the message that you want to spread and advocate for, if we just keep going with it and just trickling away, learning along the way, sharing with people, I think there's something to be said about, gosh, there's got to be a quote for this. When you teach people something, I think you learn so much more for yourself too. Like it's a win-win. You get to go spread positivity in the world, which is what humans actually want to do. You get more likes for complaining and being negative and this and that because of negative bias, but that's a bunch of bullshit and everyone feels like crap. You don't want to participate in that. I firmly believe I do not want to participate in that, versus the positivity stuff and being better. That stuff takes a long time to catch, especially if you do it all the time, like what we're doing here. It takes a long time to catch. But it feels good. And you can see how much it's compounding over time as you're gaining momentum. And I think just spending the weekends really affirming your ideas. Maybe you don't know what your number one goal is. So if I sat you down, I'm like, okay, Mr. Tanner, what is your number one goal? And if you tell me, I do not know, then that's where I would probably start. Because when you have a number one goal, I think it's really easy to work on the weekends and then just start small. You don't need to be going absolutely gangbusters. And that kind of alludes to one of our points, our last point that I'll talk about here in a minute. I do most of my work in the morning time. We've talked about mornings. I am naturally a morning person. I think I get this from my mother, but I am a morning person. And I think most people, so if you do one of our 6-week challenges, one of the rules is, and this is a hard rule for people to follow, but damn it, this is why I can make such strong guarantees about our 6-week challenge. If you go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time, and you're not drinking alcohol, you're not smoking pot, you're just letting your body and your mind really be sober and just go the hell to bed and get up at the same time for multiple weeks in a row, you will shit your pants on how much energy you have when you get up in the morning. I can't even express. It's helped me so much coming on here, gaining confidence, and just yell my head off to try and motivate people and help inspire them. That's an incredible rule that I'm so glad that I discovered. But anyway, the morning times for me work really well. Say if you're completely different, because I don't know you fully and I could never understand your experience fully because I'm myself and you're yourself. If you work better at night, then work at night. If you work better in the mornings, work in mornings. If you watch all these YouTube videos and you're like, all these psychos are all about the morning time, just, I think, being honest with ourselves and then see when you're naturally pulled to it. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite speakers of all time, he always talked about how important it is and how vital it is to act off of positive emotion. You have your thinking brain, logic, you have your feeling brain, emotions, and you're both in a car. Who do you think's driving? The one with the emotions is driving the car. So when it comes to actually getting started, start before you're ready. A big principle in our coaching. If you start before you're ready and you just get going and you feel these positive emotions, say if you find that book you're excited about, you find that project you're excited about, you find that industry that you're excited about, you want to learn, just find the natural time of day that you really are excited and you want to lean into it and drive that sucker home. Just as soon as you feel the positive emotion, don't even think about it. Let the thoughts, cars on a highway, they come and they go. Let go of those torturing thoughts and just act off the positive emotion and get right going with it. If we can live within this positive emotion, if we can act off of our emotions and let our emotions be the gasoline to our vehicle and not the psychopath who's popping the, I just picture the emotional part of our brain taking a knife to our tires and popping them before we're trying to go to work to just screw us all up. And I feel like that's a lot of us, that's how my relationship used to be with my emotions. It was all negative and torturous and just a bunch of mean stuff, which is sad, but it was totally true. And I think a lot of people truthfully feel that way. So when we get the chance to feel positive emotions, it's like exercise. We got to strengthen that muscle of acting off of the positive emotions and getting the most out of what we can. So acting off most emotions. I personally do the best with this. I'm in emotional control. I feel good. I feel ready to take action in the mornings. So I jump into it, boom, crush that shit. And then I feel like I got a lot of momentum to finish up my day strong. So that's what works for me. You got to ask yourself what works for you. Are you morning, afternoon, evening person? What time of day do you realistically? You might have to play trial and error with this stuff. Last point for this morning's show that we talk about of reasons why I work 7 days a week. And I am not in a rush. This sounds counterintuitive or the kind of more a little bit paradoxical or opposites, but I am not in a rush anymore. And just surrendering to the work, surrendering to enjoying the work, it turns out you can enjoy what it is that you do while you get better at it. You can enjoy getting closer to your goals. You can enjoy your life before you reach the big goal. Little secret that I did not know about for a long time. And I'm so excited that I feel this way now. I'm not as much in a rush. And as this like internal pressure, this weight on my shoulders, weight on it, I'm sure you can literally feel the weight. Sometimes when you think so deeply on the future, things that you want to happen, I want to lose that weight. I want to make that money. I want to get the car. I want to get the house. I want to get away from these negative people. Whatever it is, realize that life is as beautiful as it's going to get right here, right now. That present moment, beautiful bliss, and anything else. Because if you make a bunch of money and you still let your thoughts and emotions torture you, you'll be tortured and you'll be upset and you'll be sad no matter what. Doesn't matter. This right here is very beautiful, the moment right here. So I'm not in a rush anymore. And I think as this pressure and all this weight is lifted off me, I can really just get excited and feel good about doing something I absolutely love because I am not in a rush. And that's what really allows me, I believe, to work on my passion projects, to work on myself, most importantly, 7 days a week. So this is how I handle entrepreneurship. This is how I kind of handle my schedules and my routines. I work every day, but not for a lot. Some days I'm on vacation and it's just a few things. I'm just maybe reading a little bit of books. I'm just kind of looking over a few emails, something small. But I'm always doing a little bit of something because I believe that it's a lot easier to do something 7 days a week than it is to do a couple days a week. Because if you really love something, if you really have a number one goal, if you really want to accomplish something, it's probably going to eat at you a little bit if you don't feed the hunger a little bit each day, if you don't improve yourself a little bit each day. We talk about values a lot. That's one of the sections in my course. And when we're not in alignment with our values, it'll literally feel like we are dying on the inside. If you have things that you truly value in your life, say if you value your health, say if you value your adventure, say if you value the things that you like to learn, if you are not valuing those things every day, it will literally feel like you're dying on the inside, which is crazy to think because because you're acting on things that are not who you are. They're not like why you do what you do. You're out of alignment. The gap is growing between who you are and what it is you want. And that stuff's just pain and misery. And we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to reduce suffering as much as possible and improve quality of life. And I believe that we can do that by working 7 days a week on things that we absolutely love, doing it in moderation to begin. Let's not break our backs or tear a muscle because we got to warm up to this stuff. Let's do it all. Are you evening? Are you morning? I'm a morning person, so I wrote this one down. And also, Jesus, we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush, right? So let's not be in a rush today. Let's go through, enjoy, focus, embrace, and just make the most out of it. Thanks for checking out our content. If you want to learn more about investing in yourselves and working with me and our company personally, we offer a 6-week Total Life Mastery Bootcamp, where we go over the most important topics to make sure that our life has the foundation we need to catapult us forward to take the right and proper actions to become happier and more productive, guaranteed, or our money back.